All right, so here's that time. It's time to check in to see what the Louisville housing market did in this last month. So here we are. I'm Emily Price with the Price Group at Keller Williams, and I'm going to give you your quick market update into the Louisville housing market as we transition from summer into early fall. So here's what we're going to be doing. It's the end of August, and we are going to be checking out what the market is doing right now. How is it trending? What direction is going? Stay with me. I've got all the information for you coming up. Okay, so when we're thinking about the market, the first thing we're going to touch base on here is we are going to look at what the average sold price has been for homes that have sold in the Greater Louisville area. So here at the end of August, the average sold price is about right under $350. We're at $348,396. So we're just a breath under $350. Now, 4 weeks ago, when it was more in the height of the summer, the number was actually a little bit lower. We were closer to $340. In fact, $340,013 was the average sales price just a month ago, to be specific. If we rewind that all the way to the start of the year did start a bit higher. We started the year with an average price point of right at $361,000. Now, okay, so that shows us how we're trending right now. Right now, actually coming out of the summer and into the fall, there's a little bit of pep in the step in price point. And also, let's take a look to see what it's doing from right now to this time last year. So as we're transitioning into early fall, September and so forth here in the Greater Louisville area in 2025, again, we're hovering right under that $350 average price point, $348 to be specific. This time last year in 2024, we were almost $10,000 exactly to the T lower. We were right at about $338,000 in an average price point. So the market is healthy, it's appreciating as we would expect to, and we are returning back to that normal trend line of appreciation, which makes real estate continue to be a great investment, a great opportunity for buyers, and a great opportunity for sellers looking to cash out on their equity. Okay, so as you know, when we are giving you the monthly Louisville housing market update each month here at the Price Group, we're talking about how that market is trending. Well, we have to also talk about how those interest rates are trending, because interest rate is what impacts or influences the affordability. It's the math that is done around what that monthly housing payment is going to be in your budget. So the interest rate is important when you're looking at the opportunities in the market. Now, remember, as we've been talking about all year, remember that our average 50-year interest rate in our country, so if you were to look at all the mortgage rates for the last 50 years, take the average of them in our country, it would be 7.1%. So I just want you to always remember that anything at 7%, 7.1, you are spot on to the average. Anything under that, you're beating the market in terms of when it comes to the average rate. So where are we today? You guys, we're looking great today at the end of August as we're going into the fall. The average rate for a 30-year mortgage is 6.52%. 6.52, that's awesome. And for the 15-year rate, you guys drum roll, because I've got a 5 for you. Yep, we're at 5.9% for a 15-year rate. Now that's down from 4 weeks ago, because at 4 weeks ago, we were at 6.77 for the 30 and 6% for the 15. And that's still down from the start of the year, because when we went into 2025, we were at 7.17% for a 30-year and 6.5% for a 15. Now, this time last year, it's about the same, actually. We're about almost spot on to where those rates were at this exact same time last year. Because this time last year, that 30-year rate was at 6.43. Again, today it's at 6.52. And the average 15-year rate was at 5.96, and we're at 5.9. So a really steady trend, a really steady story is what the interest rates have been telling us in 2025. And they're telling us that right now, they're extra great. All right, so how is this market behaving here as we're going into the fall? Well, to know that, we also want to understand what the average days on market are. How long is it taking to sell a house? So average days on market mean from the time that we say for sale to the time that we say contract accepted, which is a little bit different from the closing date. So we're talking about how long it takes for the seller to find a buyer and for the seller and buyer to agree, okay? So today in the Greater Louisville market, the average days on market, it's gonna take you about 40 days on average to sell your house. So that's about exactly the same from where we were just 4 weeks ago, more in the height of the summer, because 4 weeks ago in July, we were at 39 days on market, and here finishing August, we're at 40. Now, both of those numbers are much improved from the start of the year. In January, we were at 52 days. Now, we're still trending a little bit longer days on market right now than we were this time last year. As we were transitioning into September last year in 2024, it was taken right at 1 month, so 33 days to go from for sale to contract accepted. And today it's just a match up. It's going to take a little over a month with the average of 40 days to go from for sale to offer accepted. All right, one of the most fascinating stories right now about where our Louisville housing market is trending has to do with the inventory. So the inventory means how many homes are for sale right now. If you're a buyer and you're gonna go out and house shop this weekend, what's the quantity of your selection? How many properties do you have to choose from? So if we look at the inventory overall for the Greater Louisville area here as we head from August into September, we are at the highest number that we have seen for quite some time, I believe in almost at least 2 years. That means sellers have a bit more competition right now. However, also sellers, remember that the average price point is still trending positively north. So it's a nice, healthy market there. And for buyers, you've got choices. You've got choices, and that is fantastic for buyers. So today, we have right under 3,200 homes available for purchase on the Greater Louisville market. 3,194 to be exact. Again, that's the largest number that we have seen in a very long time. So if you were shopping a while ago and maybe got frustrated because the houses were moving too quickly or you couldn't find what you wanted, you guys, let's get back out and let's find your house this fall. There are choices, and that gives the market just a little bit of a different pace. Now, that number is up from where we were this time just last month. Just last month, we had barely crept over 3,000. We were at 3,087. It's incredibly up from the start of the year. When we started 2025, we were at 2,400 homes on the market, and today we're at about 3,200. That's phenomenal. And this time last year, oh my goodness, we are seeing a 33% increase in inventory on the market right now versus where we were last year. So this time last year, we had 2,400 homes on the market, and today we have 3,194. More choice. And again, what the numbers are telling us in terms of sales prices is that the market is appreciating back towards that normal, steady rate year over year that we would expect. So we've got a super healthy, thriving market right now in the Greater Louisville area. All right, so when we're talking about market trends in any real estate market, and right now we're talking about the Greater Louisville housing market, one of the best ways to kind of tie it all in a bow and kind of give you the Cliff Notes version, give you the summary, is to talk about absorption rate. Okay, so here's what absorption rate means. It measures whether we're in a seller's market, a balanced market, or a buyer's market. So absorption rate says, well, if no additional properties came on the market, okay, if the inventory that we had was the inventory and the inventory didn't change, with the amount of buyer demand that we have currently, how long would it take to sell all the property? So here's what we know. Anything that's 5 months or under is considered a seller's market. That 5, 6-ish, almost to 7 month range, that is considered a balanced market. Those never last long. Just remember that. And then once we get to 7+ months, that's considered a buyer's market. So, you guys, we've been telling the same story all year for Greater Louisville, and it hasn't changed here as we go into the start of the fall in September. Today, we are at a 2.36 month absorption rate. 2.36. That's slightly up from where we were just a month ago in the middle of the summer when we were at 2.13, but it's still lower than where we started the year. We started the year at 2.81 months. Now, this time last year, again, it was a little tighter than what it is right now, but not by much. This time last year, we were at 2.18 months of inventory. So all those decimals, yes. Here's the bottom line. We're floating right around 2 months of inventory in the Greater Louisville area. That is definitely a strong market, and that's stable. It hasn't been changing the whole year of 2025 as we've been bringing you your monthly market update. So there you have it. There is a quick quick pulse on the market, if you will, so that you understand what the housing market is doing in Greater Louisville. Because whether you own a property, or you're thinking about owning a property, or you're thinking about making a move, what the market is doing is important information to have. Here at the Price Group, we believe that knowledge is power. We believe clarity is power. So we intend to always give you both knowledge and clarity. I'm Emily Price with the Price Group at Keller Williams Realty Louisville East. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Follow along with us. We promise to always give you up-to-date and accurate, thorough information and explain it in a way where it makes sense so that it actually impacts you and empowers you and helps you make great decisions about your real estate equity and your real estate goals and dreams for you and your family. I'm Emily Price with the Price Group at Keller Williams. Thanks so much for tuning in with us today.